back with a fancy new smile. Look at that. Got my tooth fixed.
Got all your teeth.
Yeah, I got all my teeth again. Temporarily.
Yeah, for now.
Temporarily. I gotta go back on the 17th because they did like a temporary bridge thing, and then they got to put a new one in on the 17th. And then I don't know what to do, if I should get the implant stuff going now or wait till I get to Arizona because it'll hold. So
I'd say get it now because I've had implants fall out and it's awful.
Yeah,
so
well,
bad.
the problem is if I do that, then I got to come back here because it's a months and months long process. So it's kind of a shit show. Welcome to the show, everybody. Garrett is here. I am here. And wanted to give you guys some updates on stuff. We've been gone the last 2 days. I'm still dealing with this house. I'm going to be dealing with this house for another couple months probably. But every time I think like, oh, yeah, the painters are done. It's like, no, they're not. They're going to be here a couple more days. And they had to get down into this room that you guys can't see on camera, where our studio used to be, and had to strip all that, kills it all, and then paint it. And so this was just a shitstorm in here yesterday. You can see there's dust all over all our equipment, and it's kind of
come in, get everything reset up, move the cameras back.
Yeah. And then over the weekend, I was eating an ice cream cone, and it was still frozen. It was one of those king cones. I love those things. And I go to take a bite of it, and I'm like, well, that tastes weird. And it's my fucking tooth. And I knew I've got these two fangs that keep giving me problems. And people are like, what's with your teeth? It's these two. And you use them so much when you're chewing, and I'm very conscious of it. And
I won't even lie. I just had to pop one back in like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it sucks. The weird thing is, I didn't have even a cavity until I was 35.
Yeah.
36. Nothing. My teeth were perfect. And now they've been a nightmare. And so probably from drug use, and then, whatever. I mean, I brush them every day, but that's about it. And so anyway, I've had problems with these. I need to get implants, but in the meantime, I've just been stringing along, trying to get bridge work to hold. And then, just because of the teeth they take so much pressure when you're eating that I keep having problems with them. So I'm going to finally address it fully, but it takes some time, and it's not cheap. So the guys are here, and the tile work is going great upstairs, and the painting is almost done, but it's just a constant storm in here. So we're dealing with that. I chatted with Raj today.
Uh-oh. He's still alive?
He's still alive. He's
okay,
doing good. He's doing great.
Sometimes I wonder.
Yeah. No, he's doing great. His comedy's killing it right now. He's doing really well. He's playing sold out shows.
He's already left us for better ventures.
No, he's very excited about this, and I told him. He already knew, but I told him, because the plan was to bring him here until that fucking car accident he got in, was to bring him here for a few months. And then, whether I went to Arizona or not, that would just be like kind of getting in the door. And I was like, look, dude, I can't worry about that right now. I've got so much going on here. Garrett and I are holding down the fort.
Doing best we can.
Yeah, and I'll deal with it when I get to Arizona. We just put an offer on a place that was accepted.
Uh-oh.
And so now it's like, finish fixing this place up and sell it, and sell G's house, and move it into a place that's going to be fucking dope, dude. It's going to be cool. Put a new studio in there. It's going to be awesome. I don't want to talk too much about it, but that's what the future holds. And so I was talking to Raj. I was like, probably have to do some Skype, Zoom stuff, and I don't even want to deal with it now. It requires
not yet. You're just
an
just
engineer.
Not yet, please.
Yeah, I have to get nerds involved when we do that stuff.
Yep.
We'll make it easier going forward. But so I was like, if you're still interested, Raj, it's been a minute. So then he's like, oh, I'm down, dude. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So he's fully in, but I said, as soon as I get more situated and blah blah blah, I'll keep you updated, and we'll go from there. So he's very excited, and I think it's going to be great. I was telling him Garrett's doing great,
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we need to check in on Newberg, because now Landau's been in an accident, Raj has been in an accident.
Oh,
boy. I feel like any comedians associated with TDC, we just got to check in on them right now.
See how they're doing?
Yeah. Hey, buddy, how's your car doing right now?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Michelle yesterday. And
was he in an accident?
She didn't mention anything.
Okay.
It sounds like everything's going great.
Hopefully.
So, she was just talking about how weird it is, and was saying that she was at the whiskey and the power went out, like all of Sunset Strip.
Power rolling blackouts.
Yeah, and so the bands, she was backstage with the bands and stuff, and so she got to go up on stage and her girlfriends and her and do some non-power necessary fucking dance show.
Some hula hooping.
Yeah, something like that for the crowd. I was like, well, you must have had a blast. It's good for you.
California, the state that wants everyone to drive electric but doesn't have the power grid to support that.
Exactly. Oh, it's very fun when a beautiful sunny day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all of a sudden your power goes out because too many people are running their dishwasher. You're like, oh, God, state is just a shit
I don't know
show.
how people live there.
No, it's unreal. It's unreal. And if you think Gavin Newsom would be good for the country as a president, holy shit,
no.
Don't buy into the facade, the plastic Ken doll that is Gavin. People in California fucking despise him.
I 100%. I think they do. Because a lot of people think of California as just the LA area. There is a lot more California that absolutely hates the LA area.
They're done with him. Yep. They can't stand him. They're trying to recall him again.
Good.
Trying to blow his ass out of there. So,
as they should.
Yeah.
Hold your politicians accountable.
So that's where we've been the last couple days is dealing. I had to deal with my tooth, and I couldn't get in until yesterday to see the dentist. So I was walking around with this hole in my head. I didn't want to leave the house.
And you can't even breathe right because every time something cold or anything hits it.
No, actually, it wasn't that bad. Usually that's
mine
the
are
case.
Usually that, yeah.
Very sensitive. No, I think the nerve's dead.
Okay.
From what other shit they did.
A lot easier.
It wasn't painful. Nothing. It was just fine. But I looked like an asshole, and then it was kind of a blessing in disguise that I couldn't get it down here anyways because they were doing so much work. So
I had to pull down some curtains and everything to get into the studio.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, the curtains are up over here to prevent too much damage in here, but it is what it is. So anyway, it's good to be back. Did you enjoy a few days off?
I got a ticket, and I had I had one day coming home from I had one day. It was Monday coming home from work. And I'm just trying to get home. I had a pretty rough day. It was a rough one. Actually, when you told me that we're not doing a show on Monday, I was kind of relieved. I was like, oh, thank God. I just want to go home. I just want to take a nap. Just end this night. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Got pulled over. Got a ticket for speeding.
What a homophobe.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah, and I was even leaning over the center console, oh, officer, I can't find my insurance.
I'm sure that goes
just waving my ass.
well
he wasn't gay, so it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't think that.
He did cut me a little break. Maybe he did like the show because he gave me a 5 over. I was going 15 over.
Okay.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, it still sucks.
It sucks. Yeah. And the worst part is I went home to just pay it off right away. I couldn't even pay it until that officer's shift was over or something. It just kept saying I wasn't allowed to pay the ticket yet.
Oh no.
Man,
where were you? Who pulled you over?
I was over at it was Livonia PD. I was over at I want to say Inkster and 5 Mile.
Okay. Damn.
That's where the speed trap is. There's one on Inkster and 5 Mile, and there's another speed trap over at Inkster and by Warren.
Is that Livonia or Redford?
It might be right on the cusp of Redford.
We know people in Redford.
Yeah.
That might be able to help you out with that.
Oh, damn. I might need to pull some favors later.
Yeah, we know.
If I'm ever speeding through Redford.
We've got, when I was on the beat, I was an officer in Redford for a day. I did a ride.
That's a tough city.
Same thing. Yeah, it was awesome. My brethren there, and, so I definitely know some people over in Redford.
Yep.
So I don't know if, I can't remember what our relationship was like with the Livonia boys. But
I feel like a lot of cops razz each other based on city. They give each other shit.
Yeah. Remind me, and I'll make an inquiry.
All right.
And see what we can do.
Get the body camera footage of my
I've
pull
had
over.
them go delete and just take that right off there.
No, I think it wasn't that bad of a fine or anything like that. And the officer was nice enough about
it. It's
but
still hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And a point? Is it a point?
1 point.
One point? Yeah.
I got no points, and I have the cleanest record possible. Funny enough, this is my first ticket in my own car.
Yeah.
Everything else was work vehicles, not even my problem.
Yeah. No, well, if you can get it eliminated, if our boy is listening, maybe he can reach out to me and let me know. But do you still have the ticket?
Yeah, I do have it at home.
Hang on to it. Bring it tomorrow.
All right.
Bring it tomorrow.
Gotcha.
You'll need the number and the officer. I've had it. A buddy of mine that was a cop reached out to another cop when I got a speeding ticket. And
we used to have the Drew and Mike defense.
I had that for years. I use that all the time. But this was recently, and they just reached out to the cop and were like, yeah, he's a family friend. Can we let this one go? And the guy was like, sure. No problem.
No, but
that's what you call privilege.
Yes.
That is a privilege.
No, the biggest kick
I love.
in the nuts, though, is right after that whole pullover situation. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. That sucked. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I got stuck behind a 10-minute long train.
Oh.
Like 2 miles later down the
Yeah.
road. I was sitting at my car just screaming.
Yeah. Pissed God off somehow, dude.
Dude, I don't know what I did that day. I
Yeah.
must have kicked a puppy or something in a past life, but I got it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can't help you out. No guarantees.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not expecting it, but
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. I'll appreciate it.
There has been a lot going on in the world, per usual. Some abortion stuff. Oh boy, that's a big one. People don't even talk about
I
abortion.
got a fun stance on abortion.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm torn on it because I feel like women shouldn't have the right to choose, but also we need to kill more babies.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought for a long time. Although the women choosing, I don't care. You can choose. We'll get into that.
We'll give them that.
We'll get into that next. I did have. I find these stories funny. That Ashley Biden's diary was, quote, stolen. I don't know what's with these Biden shitbags leaving like
personal info everywhere,
sensitive personal info wherever they go. It seems like there's always a Biden just like, I'm just going to leave 3 laptops.
I got some
here,
tax documents on my computer, and I'd feel like panicked if I left it anywhere.
Yeah, these people leaving, like she left her cell phone, her diary, and it was like a rental home, and someone else moved in or whatever.
I feel like Ashley Biden, though, might have left that on purpose. Like, Hunter probably an accident, but I feel like Ashley Biden was like, I need somebody to see this and make it not my fault.
Maybe. Who knows? But, this girl that took this and sold it, and a lot of people would.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, oh, shit.
I would have sold it.
This is the president's daughter. And her and another guy ended up getting like 40 grand. So 20 grand each.
Oh, they got undercut. You could have got way more.
Probably. Maybe. I don't know. It's Ashley Biden.
Yeah, but the stuff about Joe, like if you just kind of send out a little message like, hey, there's some Joe Biden groomer stuff in here.
Yeah, that's how you get
could
killed, though. If the Bidens find out about that, that's how you.
But that's why you slyly just you bring it in like get a lawyer first and have them bring it up to somebody else. I represent a client who will not be named who has this.
Yeah, I feel like they'd find out who you were.
They'd try, yeah.
Yeah, they have ways, and then next thing you know, you're Clinton.
Yeah,
you're
getting robbed with 2 shots in the back of the head. Yeah,
suicide,
and your wallet's still in your pocket.
Exactly, and your watch is still on. Well, a federal judge in New York, of course, sentenced a Florida woman who did plead guilty to selling the stolen diary of Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley, to a month in prison.
That's bullshit.
It's like, if you hope that, justice is blind. That's why she wears the blindfold, Lady Liberty or whatever. And you hope that she's blind but there's too many stories. We could do them every single day about these places. New York is a prime example where someone's got a rap sheet that's 10 miles long and they're getting these no bail released out in the streets, and then they murder someone, and it's like, wow, look at the rap sheet. Who couldn't see this coming? Riddled with mental health, can't stop robbing people, and they're horrible thieves because they get caught constantly.
Yeah.
And yet they're wandering the streets. We need to put this person in prison for 30 days.
Probably federal prison too.
Of a diary. Isn't that to keep the threat to the public away from the streets?
That is
we
what
need
prison
to take this
was.
Person off the streets, like
the original concept, right?
No, you went after Joe Biden's daughter, and this is what they're going to do to stick it to you. So Amy Harris, 41-year-old mother of 2, displayed despicable and consequently very serious conduct, said Judge Laura Swain. Why? Because we all learned that Joe Biden was probably showering with his daughter way later than he should be. And
that she was running from him and like refusing to shower when he was at home.
Yeah. Or that she was probably molested, she believes.
Yeah.
Whether that was Joe, probably not. But whatever was going on in that circus of a family of theirs. We see how Hunter's turned out.
Yeah. He's doing great.
Ashley's an absolute fucking maniac. If you run into Ashley Biden, just ask her to hit the head with you. Go to the bathroom and you could fuck her.
Yeah.
Like, she's a sex addict. She's gone to therapy for it. She can't stop fucking. She started fucking at an early age. Like, that's what's in this diary, is her talking about, at a very young age. And, and that's where all the showering with daddy stuff came in. It's like, I can't imagine my dad showering with me when I was past 2. Yeah. Like,
I think as soon as they figured out I could shower myself, like, good, get the fuck out of my way. Do it.
Yeah. And even if I was shitty at it, then my dad would be like, yeah, you're not showering. It's creepy. It's fucking gross. So Judge Swain sentenced Harris to 1 month behind bars, a term she's expected to begin in July, as well as 3 years probation and 3 months home confinement. She's also ordered to give back the 20 grand she ordered from selling.
Oh no, that's definitely bullshit.
Yeah, and the other guy hasn't been sentenced yet, but I'm sure they'll stick it to him too and make him pay 20 grand. Department of Justice said Harris teamed up with a guy named Robert Kurlander to sell the property to an organization. That organization was Project Veritas. Well, we've got a video from them we'll play a little later. That was for 40 grand after finding the journal and other items belonging to Ashley in a private residence in Florida. In just a few weeks leading up to the 2020 election, she tried to sell the materials to Donald Trump's campaign. And they told her, no, we're not interested. Take it to the FBI.
Yeah.
So you would have thought, for as Hitler-esque and evil as Trump is.
Obviously, for all the dirt that he's trying to get all the time.
Yeah, he would have leapt at that opportunity to throw that in the Biden's faces. But no, apparently the Trump organization said, no, we're not interested. Give it to the FBI. Harris and Kurlander pled guilty to conspiracy to commit interstate transportation of stolen property back in 22. Both offered apologies. Court filings show there were numerous delays, and Harris citing issues such as health problems and having no health insurance. So they want her on her dime to travel from Florida to New York for the trial. And she's like, look, I'm having health problems. I'm a mother of 2, and I don't have health insurance. Yeah. And so she was postponing stuff.
That 40 grand probably did a lot for her.
Yeah, 20 grand for
20
her.
20 grand, yeah, because they split it.
So, I mean, is she just stalling? Maybe. And if you want to be cynical and think that, sure. Yeah. Okay. And she's disobeying a court order when they say, you need to be here on December 20th, whatever, or whatever date and time they gave her. And if she's like, believe me, as someone who's dealt with health issues, I know what it's like to have everything need to be dropped and dealt with. Like, I get it. I've been there. I would have called bullshit on that a handful of years ago, but now I don't because I understand a little more what that's like to have an urgent health issue come up that needs to be addressed. I'm not saying that's the case here, but a mother of 2, not from in-state, on her dime has to fly up, doesn't have health insurance, and has some health issues, yeah, I could see where that would be a problem. They act like it's outrageous. How dare you? So Project Veritas did not publish the contents from her diary, but the group is facing a federal investigation into the matter, of course. Let's get to the bottom of this. Project Veritas spokesperson said the group's news gathering was ethical and legal. Yeah, they don't give a shit about journalist protections. Yeah. Just ask Julian Assange how that's going.
Oh, yeah.
There's supposed to be protections. And if Project Veritas gets their hand on Hunter Biden's laptop or Ashley Biden's fucking diary, good for them.
Well, actually, speaking of Assange, I hear Biden's now considering dropping the charges on him.
Yeah.
We'll see how far that goes.
Yeah, well, we will see.
He needs any win he can get.
It'd be a smart move on his part.
It would.
I wish Trump would have done it.
Yeah,
I wanted Trump on
have.
his way out to pardon Assange. I wouldn't imagine Snowden too.
Yeah,
that would have been just fine with me because the more I've understood about Snowden, the more I'm on his team too. I think he had the best interest at heart for the country, and
he was like, "Hey, this organization is reading everything you do, and that's not cool."
Yeah.
This Patriot Act gave him way too much power.
Way too much power. All right, should we talk about abortion?
All right.
Oh boy, this is. Whew. I already know people that are like
getting the emails ready.
People are pulling their fucking hair out. They're so angry at some of the stuff going on with this, and this is pretty simple actually. What's going on? So, Roe v. Wade was overturned, or the Dobbs case. And that was always bad case law.
Yeah. Our Roe v. Wade was written like shit.
And any lawyer worth his salt will admit to that. Like, you can take a partisan position and take a side and be like, I love abortion so much that I'm willing to and overlook the bad case law that this set. Yeah. And why this was,
think it is just
but even lefties. You get like the notorious RBG or whatever, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, knew that this was shit case law. It just was, and was not going to.
Well, you get the people. Scrutiny. It's like the same thing with the "Don't Say Gay" bill, where it's like it's not what's actually in there. They just think, okay, Roe v. Wade means yes, abortion to anyone. Right. That's it.
Yeah,
and that's all they're going off of. When there's a lot more in there about healthcare, private company shit. It gets weird.
But the abortion one is a very, like, look, 70% of this country, I believe it is like, yeah, leave women alone.
Yeah.
It's their right to choose. And I have no problem with it.
No, I'm the same way. I don't mind abortion. I think it was good that we got rid of it because it just kicks it back. All we did was kick it back
to the states.
If you don't like it, that's your state. Vote in your state.
The problem is
less federal power is good for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I understand, I don't have a vast knowledge at all, but I understand the basic founding of this country where states, when agreeing to become part of this bigger project.
It's the reason we're not 50 different countries.
Right. And so those states, as they came in, all had their own demands. And one of the things they were worried about losing was their own state powers. Like, we want to govern our own people. We'll be part of the bigger United States, but we want to be able to have say in what goes on with the people of our state. And so that's part of it.
And I always thought that's how that should work. You know, it's like somebody in Florida's not going to tell me how to handle my snow here in Michigan.
Right, exactly, which is what that comes down to. When you've got a big swath of land, it's like, do people in, this part, you're talking about Georgia, do they care about what's going on in the oceans in California?
Exactly.
They don't. And, water supply issues are not of grave concern to Michiganders.
No, we're doing fine.
We're surrounded by fresh water. But believe me, when I'm looking at properties in Arizona, it's a real fucking problem.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a place and like, wow, this place is perfect. And then the warden, Amanda, will go, no, it's not. And I'm like, why not, dude? It's got everything we've been looking for. And it's got some size to the land, blah, blah, blah. She's like, this is poured water or something water where all of your water is trucked into you. And once a month they deliver water to you so you can shower and drink and and
a little out there in the desert.
Yeah. So there's that kind of thing. So it's like you want to be on city water if you can, which is why this place looks unbelievable and it's only X dollars. What the fuck? How is that possible? Well, it's because they're getting
you get a monthly water allowance.
Can you imagine? Like, for people in Michigan, they're like, what? Like,
dude, I take 30-minute showers, all right? So it's like, I would have a huge issue.
Yeah, they're one of those ones like, don't flush a toilet unless you absolutely have to, and don't take long showers, and God forbid, put a sprinkler on in your yard. Like, around here, we're just like, it reminds me of the Three Amigos movie where the three are on, they're sitting there and the one guy's trying to drink the water and he gets one drop out. The other guy pours it and it's just sand in his canteen, and the other guy's rinsing his fucking shoes off and he's got an abundance of water. That's the difference between us and like someone like that. So anyway, states' laws, mattered. And so that's all it did was kick it back to the states. But now the states, if you're in a conservative area, you've got issues where their courts are going, okay, outlaw abortion, which happened in Arizona.
Okay.
Speaking of which, all places. And I'll let you know why this is not the right's fault. And I don't care to take a side on this, like right versus left or things like that. I sort of will. But recognize this in the big picture that it is. And I'll read you the statement. I went on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's website today. And first thing, boom. This is big. And they've got boots on the ground today. Yep. Kamala Harris is in Arizona today.
A hot topic issue. It's kind of what lost us a lot of the House in 22.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. And I think this is
I feel like the right
losing battle.
If the right just backed off abortion in 22, we probably would have got more of the House.
Yeah. The House, the Senate, you would have picked up seats. It's a big fucking problem for the right. But I'll explain a little bit why I don't think the right is necessarily at fault on this. Because I know it's automatic. I see it from people already. Like, this is Trump's fault or the right. Bah. So this is from their website today, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Donald Trump brags about overturning Roe v. Wade and has even said that women should face punishment for obtaining reproductive health care if he returns to the White House. He is planning to ban abortion nationwide with or without the help of Congress. Yeah, he doesn't have that power.
Probably not.
Yeah, he can't do that.
No.
Trump did the best thing he could do in this position. And he was like, everybody's wondering my thoughts on abortion. Here's the reality. Trump probably loves abortion. He's probably had multiple.
I was going to say, knowing his history.
Trump doesn't give a shit about taking away abortion personally any more than he cares about gay people getting married.
Exactly.
I can promise you, that New York, mostly liberal guy doesn't really...
He's a populist. He's going to say whatever's popular on his side. And because the right supports him...
He's going to have to, right? Like, that's the reality. Like, if you're a Democrat, there's some things that you need, that you need for your side to win. You need the African-American vote. You need them to come out at 92% in favor of you. You need the Latino vote. You need white women to vote. You need those things, or your team
I think they're down
loses.
to just white women.
Maybe. Yeah, they're getting their ass kicked in those departments, but historically, that's what they need. Now, if you're on the right, what the right needs is the Christian conservative base. So that's not changing. They need that base, and to those fucking crazy people, not all conservatives, but a lot of those nut jobs, abortion is the end-all, be-all. Like, abortion is the worst thing that's ever happened. To me, if it's a sin like other sins, let God will take it up with whoever.
That's what I always tell people. Right? God will sort them out.
It's not for you to judge. It's for God to judge. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep fighting to make abortion illegal, blah, blah. I get it. That's your war to wage. But the point is, the right is always going to fall in line with their base. Like, well, we can't piss these people off, because then, even though they won't go vote for Biden and Harris, they might not vote for you either.
Yeah, or the
they
senator
might just stay
coming
home.
up, or the representative in their area.
So you need them to be happy and whatever. And so this abortion thing, it's really a left fight. Like, if you want this, you need this fight to go your way. You need to deal with it. Don't expect help from the right. They're not going to give it to you. So this is why this hasn't been codified and done over the years, is for letters like this. If he returns to the White House, even with help without Congress, he's going to make it illegal everywhere. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris believe women should make their own health care decisions and are fighting for federal legislation to protect reproductive health care access in every state. As President Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, allowing MAGA Republicans in states across the country to ban reproductive health care. Because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age now live under an abortion ban in effect, many of which have no exceptions for rape and incest across the nation. Rape and incest. What if the incest is consensual?
Yeah, see, that's a tricky situation,
right? Like,
what if they want to have the kid?
It's gross, but
disgusting. But
what if it's consensual?
Yeah, you get a couple of Appalachian weirdos out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that shit going on. So why do they get a free pass on being able to whack babies?
I don't know.
You know, I get it if you were raped.
Yeah.
Rape and incest, that's horrible.
No, that makes sense. But
or rape, but incest, if it was consensual.
It's a consensual thing. I mean, how come you get the right and we don't?
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair.
It's not my fault you fucked your cousin.
Yeah, cousin fucker. So let's see here. MAGA Republicans are inserting themselves into the most personal decisions a family can make, from trying to restrict access to contraception to blocking IVF fertility treatments and preventing loving couples from growing their families. Trump and MAGA Republicans want to go even further and ban abortion nationwide, ripping away reproductive freedom in all 50 states.
Yeah, a couple want that.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are working tirelessly to protect your rights to make your own healthcare decisions. They're doing everything in their power to protect access to this healthcare, speaking out against MAGA Republican attacks and fighting to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade. And if Congress passes a national abortion ban, Biden has promised to veto it. The future of freedoms hangs in the balance. In November, Joe Biden may be the only thing standing in the way of an abortion ban next year, which is why re-electing Joe Biden is crucial to protecting reproductive rights and stopping a national ban. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to believe. They really do want you to believe that. Here's the problem. And so here's what Arizona did. Monday, let's see, on Tuesday, actually, the Arizona Supreme Court showed just how difficult it will be to show support for what Trump is saying. Like, oh, the states will do it and they'll be able to do whatever they want. Well, the states showed what kind of flex they can have in Arizona. The court resurrected an 1864 law that bans nearly all abortions except to save the life of the mom. So even rape and incest, they're like, nope, you're having the kid.
Just the mom's life.
You're having the kid. Trump had said, let the states handle it. The states are like, thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll take that ball and run
And
with it.
Arizona said, and gone.
It's likely that a referendum to protect abortion rights will be on Arizona's ballot in November. No doubt about it. This is going to be a battleground, which Arizona is borderline battleground state already. It's purple already. So Arizona, if you're going to see a shit ton of money dumped there for people fighting like, oh my God, the evil Trump MAGAs want to end abortion across the board, and we can't have that. And so you got to vote the way we want you to, otherwise blah, blah, blah. The court ruling reverberated far beyond Arizona's borders. The Biden-Harris campaign and other Democrats pounced on the ruling in an effort to further their argument that Trump is a threat to freedoms. All abortion politics are national, not local. Abortion developments, new laws, new restrictions, new stories of women caught up in heart-wrenching and life-threatening decisions are no longer confined to the geography where they take place. They are instantly part of the larger debate. Yeah. So
I really hate when they always say Trump's going to go against your freedoms. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're the one trying to ban like half the things I own already.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
My
They don't even
gas
wanna hear
car,
that
my
argument.
guns, a lot of things I like.
Here's why I have a problem with this. And I laid out, just take the right out of this argument.
Yeah.
Okay. There are historically windows of opportunity that have existed. But no, what the left really wants is not a solution to this problem.
No.
They don't want abortion to be off the table because every 4 years we're able to have this debate and then go, look what these monsters are trying to do, blah, blah, blah. And I know people on the left that don't want to hear this. They still want to blame Trump. They want to blame MAGA Republicans. I've explained to you why the right can't do that. It is what it is. The left has certain things that they run on that they have to be very aware of because of their base. And no matter how delusional those people may be, the right is no different. They have delusional people on the right that that's part of the base that they need to placate to.
I was going to say, Cord put it exactly right in the YouTube chat here. He said, first rule of politics, never solve the wedge issue. And he put that in there about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's true. It is. So
next time, put it in his super chat, Cord.
Here's the reality. And I'll read you an article that I pulled up from Newsweek back in 22. Because people are criticizing Barack Obama. And I've made this argument before, but we'll go through it again. For not passing legislation to codify abortion rights into federal law following the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn 2 landmark abortion rulings, the Dems refused to codify Roe even when they had the power to. Thomas Cunningham wrote, RBG refused to retire when Obama could pick a replacement.
Yep.
Biden promised he'd codify Roe. He didn't. Trump win is only one part. The other is Dem failure.
Yeah, I was about to say the RBG not getting out of there is what pretty much fucked them over on the Supreme Court right now.
Yeah, that's why you have Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep.
You might have 2.
There's 2 of them. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. It was the one who got, he apparently raped a chick at a party.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Was Kavanaugh part of the RBG thing, or was that just because Amy Coney Barrett would have fallen under Biden, I believe. One of those at least. It might have been 2, but I think Trump appointed 3 of them. And sorry, RBG did that to you. And people that tried to nudge her out the door, like Obama famously took her to lunch and tried to get her to bow out gracefully, knowing her days were numbered, and she was not having it. I am woman, hear me roar. I'm going nowhere. And it's like, great. You let the new administration come in who wasn't on your team, and then you fucking drop dead. Nice job, dipshit.
It looks like he was nominated by Donald Trump in 2018.
Kavanaugh was.
Yep.
And Coney Barrett. But Coney Barrett was right on the border of 2020.
Yep.
So that's where it was like a Biden issue. It could have been a Biden issue. Oh, shit. I don't remember how that all played out. Many progressives had called on Ginsburg to retire and allow Obama to appoint her successor. You could have codified Roe versus Wade in 2009, but you didn't because abortion rights weren't the priority. Now, we need to go back in time a little bit to when a young Senator Barack Obama was running. And at that point, it was a day one promise to him. So they all have these, day one, I will see to it. That was a day one promise to codify Roe. And he did not. In April of 2009, Obama said that, so in 2008, when he's running, he said, day one, I will codify Roe and make it, and it would have been federal law, and good luck changing that. Wouldn't have happened. So in April of 2009, Obama said that legislation to codify abortion rights into federal law is not the highest legislative priority. Wah, wah.
Womp womp.
That legislation was the Freedom of Choice Act, which would have effectively enshrined Roe v. Wade into law. So it was actually 2007, not 2008, because he was elected in 2008. 2007, he told Planned Parenthood, that's the first thing I do as president. Day one. So for a brief period, and brief period, I mean 2 years, during the 111th Congress, Democrats had a filibuster-proof 60-seat majority in the Senate. When the and so in other words, they changed that, I believe, in 2013. The Dems did, and so now you need this. It's kind of wacky. You need all these extra seats, which means that even if you got abortion, if you tried to push that through like they're claiming Trump would do, you would never hit the threshold of 60-seat majority to get that through. So while they say that, you know, like if Trump's elected, he'll ban abortion nationwide.
Yeah, him and
never
the
gonna
House
hit
and the Senate, and
you're never going to hit the 60-seat threshold. So that's not going to happen either way. Either way. But in 2011, you did have something where the filibuster wouldn't have worked, and you held the House, and you held the Senate, and you held the White House, the Congress, and the Senate. And you could have done it then and skated through and made abortion protected nationwide. And you didn't. Why? Because you wanted to fight every 4 years. That's why, if you're going to be pissed at anybody, don't take it up with Trump. Don't blame Republicans. Of course Republicans are going to vote this way. Of course they are. They have to protect their base. Take it up with these fucking clowns right here. They don't want a solution, and they don't give a shit about you. I don't know what else you need to know. The fact is, most of us in this country believe that women should have the right to choose.
Yeah, it's a majority.
Most of us don't have a dog in the fight, and the ones that do feel like, you know what, that's between a woman and her doctor.
Yeah.
It's not my place. Now, I understand there's a group
I do think you got to get the guy in on it,
hardcore-
too, and that's something where I always struggle, where it's like, well, it's a woman's right to choose. I'm like, yeah, but the guy's also kind of stuck with the kid for the rest of his life. And sure, they could have solved the problem way beforehand, but
when it comes to something growing inside her body, I understand why it's a little different.
I get the health and everything like that, too.
If dudes just go, yeah, fuck it, I'm out, and they skate, they don't wreck their bodies.
No.
They don't.
And that's why it's like the guy's got to be held accountable for that part, but it's not worth it.
And it's so easy to sit back and be like, I would never, until you're the guy that fucking banged someone he shouldn't have and knocked her up. And now it's like, you're telling me for $500 and a quick drive down to the abortion clinic, I can fucking end this nightmare? Or I can go home and tell my parents that I knocked up my 15-year-old
and then be on the hook for millions for the rest of your life?
Or that I cheated on my girlfriend, my wife, my whatever. Like, there's a lot of people in that position that would absolutely change their thoughts on abortion when it comes to them personally, or personally their family member. If you're someone right now who's of the very Christian conservative, that's like abortion under no circumstances, because I know there's a lot of people that are like, it doesn't matter if it's rape or incest or blah, blah, blah.
A life's a life. That baby didn't choose to be aborted.
And it's what got Tudor Dixon booted when she was like, even for the health of the mother, When she was on record saying that, it was like people were like, ooh, shit.
Yeah, they
what's
clipped
wrong
that
with
one
you,
real
lady?
quick, put it on every ad.
Fuck yeah. It ran ad nauseum if you were in Michigan. That's all you saw when she was running for governor.
Tudor Dixon.
Yeah, and it was like, no. We don't want this fucking crazy lady in here. But if Tudor Dixon or someone else that's on the really hardcore Christian conservative right, if their 15-year-old daughter got knocked up, it's a much tougher decision than about...
Oh, you'll see him at the fucking abortion clinic that night.
You know, maybe not. But it's not as simple as when you're judging everybody else about it. You know, it becomes a much, much harder story when it hits that close to home for people. And it's like, because you would immediately feel the ramifications of, oh my God, my 15-year-old daughter's life is over. That's how it would feel in the moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean your 15-year-old daughter's life is over, but it means it's radically changed.
It's about to get very different.
It's even if she has the baby and gives it away, it's radically changed forever.
Yep.
Her life is changed forever. And that's not lost on parents with fully functioning brains that understand that it radically changes her life and it radically changes my life. And it's, if we can just with a fucking quick shot and a look the other way, we can get back to what we were doing. She's got a game on Saturday. She's got softball on Saturday. Can't miss that. We got a big tournament. Like, I get it. Selfishly, it makes sense that you want to get back to your life. So, just be careful when you're watching all these stories out there about what a mega extremist Trump could do as president. He can't just go against everyone's wishes and go against Congress. He would never have the filibuster.
It's almost like
votes
we got a
anyways.
three-party system that's supposed to have checks and balances to keep each other in checks.
They're still there,
Yeah.
and he would not be able to run roughshod over that. Maybe
They're barely there, but they're there.
Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, and this is going to be something that is eventually probably the next generation of people has to deal with it.
Oh, that's my problem now.
Yeah, but someone's going to have to deal with it, and maybe it's a blessing in disguise to have this thing that's been hanging there for 50 years as bad case law. And I'm not taking a side here. I understand, but to get that settled, the states where people are like super for abortion don't have to worry. And even for those in Arizona, one of the quotes that doesn't get a lot of press is the attorney general is a woman, and she came out and said, absolutely no girl or woman will be prosecuted under these draconian fucking laws while I'm in charge.
Yeah, so it's like you still got some people in there that are going to look. It's going to become one of those things where, yes, it's illegal, but we don't care that much.
Right. It's kind of like smoking weed in
I was about to
Ann
say,
Arbor
like,
in the
smoking
90s.
weed before it became legal. It's like, look, we're not gonna fucking get you for that one, but just keep it over here.
It's fun to do the stories of, like, California has a ban on all gas powered leaf blowers and they're trying to make
New York
everything.
banned the gas stoves.
Yeah, good luck. I'm putting one in right now. I can't wait. It's going to be beautiful.
Hell yeah.
They ran the gas line yesterday.
Good.
Looks awesome. And we put a T on there so that you can just hook an outside grill up and have gas to it. So anyone that buys this house is going to have this beautiful setup. No propane tanks. None of that bullshit. But out there, I was talking to Jen about it. I was like, so what? So now, because Pleasanton was one of the cities named, they're like, ooh, in Pleasanton, it's illegal to have gas-powered lawnmowers and gas-powered weed whackers and leaf blowers. And I'm like, so, Jen, do you think the cops are going to drive around town and look for the one asshole with a gas-powered blower and write him a ticket? He's like, fuck no.
No.
He's like, no one gives a shit.
It's usually just what they throw on at the end of a charge if you're being an asshole.
Yeah, right.
That's what those laws are. It's like, what's that? It's illegal to wear a bulletproof vest while committing a crime, I think. I'm trying to remember which state. I want to say Missouri.
Yeah.
But it's like nobody's going to prosecute you for that, but if you did commit a crime and you happen to be wearing a bulletproof vest, we'll just tack the charge on for fun.
I like when they tack those charges on sometimes where they're like, he's been charged with, he's been found guilty of murder one.
Yep, murder one.
And he's been charged with
and
attempted murder. And he's been charged with attempted
and
murder.
And firing a weapon in a public space. Like, that's the best one where it's like, what the fuck?
Trespassing.
Yeah, no shit, he was trespassing. He killed a person.
Yeah. And destruction of property because he cut a hole in the fence to get in to shoot everybody. You're like, ooh, well, that ought to add 30 minutes to his time. Yeah, pile it on.
He's sitting there in court like, just give me the shooting charge, or just give me the gun in public charge.
I think first-degree murder was enough. Did we have to get him on littering, too?
Yep.
Yeah, he just tossed his Mountain Dew can out of the window when he was driving away from the crime scene. Well, yeah, it's funny.
No, they just got to pad out their case in case one thing doesn't stick.
By the way, I thought this was rather interesting, and this goes back. If you've been a long-time listener of me or TDC or the Detroit Cast, you've heard me talk about when early on when we did transgender stories, for instance, and I would say stuff like, Jay would go, "It's mental health. It's mental health." He would just lock it all in as mental health. And it's hard to argue against that because it's like
it is a lot of mental stuff.
It's like, well, you are technically a man, but you feel like a woman. That
Yes,
seems like
you're seeing yourself as a woman,
miswired-
so it's
Right.
mentally you see yourself as something you're not.
Right. So it's very hard to argue. Like,
Yeah.
how do you argue against mental health? Well, it's like, well, you're not, but you think you are.
Yeah.
That sounds like a mental.
I think it's mental health.
So I would early on, I would say, what's next? Someone in their mind believes they're a Vietnam vet and wants a doctor to cut their legs off, and now you're a
we
legit
getting to the,
amputee. Do you remember when I would make
the
that
trans
statement?
amputee?
The trans amputee, and it was like ha ha ha. It was a big joke. Like, can you imagine how far it could go where you would cut healthy limbs off a person because they said they felt like this, or I really believe I'm a Vietnam vet? That was my joke for years. Was like, how far down
That's
the
what it's
road do
called.
we go?
Transableism is what that's called.
Well, there's also body integrity dysphoria.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So a Canadian man, he's got a touch of the body integrity dysphoria. He's 26 years old. He's ambidextrous, which would be nice.
Yeah.
I wish
You
I
can
was
move an arm.
ambidextrous.
Yeah, I wish I was too.
I'm a little bit. I can sort of throw a ball left-handed, not with much velocity.
Depends on what I'm doing. I mean, guitar, drums, so you can pretty much switch those up sometimes.
Can you really?
A guitar, I can get a left hand
Guitar?
going pretty hard. Yeah. Well, what it is because
What?
when I learned to play Guitar Hero, I learned how to play backwards. So I play lefty Guitar
Why?
Hero, but right hand guitar. I just picked up the controller wrong and started playing like that. I never corrected it. So
retarded.
now I can play
All right,
full
Biggie.
expert 100% bullshit.
No.
Flipped screens.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's,
Play lefty
that's
flip
impressive.
with a right hand screen.
I can only do hockey left-handed, only, exclusively. I can putt straighter left-handed than I can right, but I'd love to be.
I don't do too many
ambidextrous.
athletic things for ambidextrous tests.
For what? Excuse me again,
Ambidextrous
Biggie?
tests.
Ambidextrous tests?
Yeah, I don't test my
you're not a big-
ambidextrousness or whatever the word is.
Ambidextrousness?
My ambidextrousness.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
Cocaine
I think.
for my breakfast. Hold that pistol, ambidextrous.
Well, it used to be you were possessed by the devil,
Yeah.
right? So there were a lot of left-handed people that were forced into right-handed because it wasn't that many generations ago where it was like, the devil.
Yep.
He's got the devil in him. He's trying to write with his left hand. Shit like that. And so people were forced to learn how to play an instrument right-handed
Yep.
and stuff like that. So this 20-year-old man experienced profound distress over his left hand's fourth and fifth fingers. So which ones would be fourth and fifth? Is that pinky and ring? Would that be 4 and 5?
I don't think you count the thumb.
Or is it
so I want to
index
say
and thumb?
I'm saying I'm gonna go, but see, it could also be pointer middle because are we counting the thumb as a finger? Because a lot of people don't count the thumb.
Well, if it was
I'm gonna go ring and
4
pinky.
and 5,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ring and pinky.
I'm going
too.
ring and pinky. Just for,
Okay. So if you had to lose a finger, which one would you go with?
Ooh.
I think I'd go ring.
Yeah, I'm going ring.
Right? Because then I could still hold
Left
a
or right hand?
football with. I think you need pinky, middle, and
Yeah.
thumb for a football.
Yeah. Are we going left or right hand though? That makes a difference.
Your choice.
Yeah, if we're going left hand, I will go pinky. If I'm
Pinky?
going
Okay,
right hand,
that's
I'm
not
going
bad.
ring.
I think I would do the same.
Yeah.
I think you're right. On the left hand,
Yeah.
pinky. Fuck that guy.
Oh yeah.
Same with
I don't need that
toes.
one. Yeah, toes. Yep, probably the same thing.
I think pinky toe.
Yeah, I was
when
gonna
you're
say
talking about
pinky's
the
important on the
pigs,
toe.
When you're talking about the pigs,
That's your
you
balance.
want which one ran all the way home?
That would be the it would be the pinky.
Which pig was that? Pinky pig?
Yeah.
Which one loves roast beef? Is that the first one?
I don't know. I never had this thing done on me.
What?
Yeah, I never had the whole this little piggy whatever. I never
Went to
I never had that
market.
done.
This
Yeah.
little piggy ran home. This little piggy
Roast beef,
The
and
one
this
that
little
went
piggy
to
had none.
market.
Yep.
So the piggy that went to market is your big toe. The one that this little piggy went to market. This little piggy ran home is your
middle toe, I
Middle
guess,
toe,
your middle
the
finger toe.
longest
Yeah.
one. This little piggy had roast beef. I'd cut off the roast beef pig.
Roast beef seems pretty useless.
Roast beef
yeah.
pig
we can
is
get rid of
where
roast
you'd
beef
go.
pig.
Then I've got balance. 2 on each side.
Yep.
Roast beef pig
You
is
still got that
fucked
pinky
off.
on the end in case you need that lean.
Yeah, you need that lean,
Yes.
dude. You do. Roast beef pig is the one we could do without.
Yeah.
Like if you get into a thing where you owe gangsters a bunch of money on a gambling debt.
Yeah. Take my
see
roast
if they'll
beef pig.
Take the roast beef pig. Do not take the piggy that ran all the way home. And don't take the
one that went to market,
The one that went to
especially.
market.
That one's very
Yeah,
important.
You need that guy. You that Fred Flintstone pig.
Yep.
You need that son of a bitch. So this guy got 4 and 5, and for sake of conversation, I'm going to say that's pinky.
Yeah,
and
ring
as
and
well.
pinky.
Yeah. So he opted for body integrity dysphoria is a rare phenom of individuals wanting to amputate parts of their body, usually limbs, often because they feel the body part does not belong to them.
Yeah.
What else would it be besides limbs? Ears, nose,
Intestines,
lips?
organs. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess those are body
I feel
parts.
like, yeah, some people would be like, I don't feel like this liver's mine. And it's mental illness. You never know what they're going to claim.
What? How dare you?
get enough people.
Trans
Yeah.
That's not inclusive enough, Garrett. What are you talking about? The young man opted for operation after non-invasive treatments. So I don't know what they did. Taped him down.
I was
going to
say probably taped his fingers down or
Stapled
something
them.
like that. Yeah. Bindings.
Despite ethical concerns, no, and limited literature on body. Yeah, I bet there is limited
Amputating
literature.
healthy limbs.
Yeah. Shock to the system. There's limited literature on that. So
Since World War I has a book been written on this.
So the decision to proceed with elective surgery was based on the patient's sustained desire, potential risks of self-harm, and the distinct presentation involving 2 fingers rather than a complete limb of distinct presentation involved. Okay, so this is some doctor in Quebec wrote this. The man described having intrusive thoughts. Hold on. The man described having mental health issues about his left hand's 4th and 5th fingers since childhood and felt they should not belong to his body. I wonder whose body he thought they belonged to.
I don't know.
If it was just
Is it just
extras.
like an extra body or there's.
He described often hiding his fingers, causing pain, and said he had not told his family about his distress due to embarrassment. I guess, when I was younger, I used to bite my nails, and so
Yeah.
I would kind of hide those because I could chew those down to the cuticles if I wasn't careful.
No, I did the same thing.
Did you? Yeah. I just stopped one day. One day I was like, that's it. I'm not doing that anymore.
I do sometimes when there's if I get an annoying one, I definitely pick and bite at it when I
Yeah, I could do that too. And it's way more painful and irritating when I do that now.
Yeah.
Like when I bit my nails all the time, they never bothered me. But now, first time I've had to use clippers in forever.
Oh, I keep some by my desk and everything.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't let it go very far without clippers.
Yeah, I need to clip them
But I wear
off.
gloves a lot at work, so if I have any kind of hang nails or anything hanging off, I
the
whip right
worst.
through a glove, and it's awful.
Awful. So he often described his hiding his fingers, blah, blah, blah. He suffered from nightmares in which his fingers were burning or rotting. He considered removing the fingers himself. He had contemplated asking a friend to watch over him and be prepared to call 911 in case his attempt led to a need for resuscitation. He worked at a sawmill.
Oh, that's a great job for him.
I mean, perfect. What would be a
that
better job
motherfucker
than
knew
a
what's going on.
sawmill?
He's gonna be like, "Hey guys, you go on ahead without me. I'm gonna be over here by the saws real quick.
Yeah.
I'll catch up with you."
Is there a better job than the sawmill?
Butcher.
Butcher, right? I was going to say butcher.
I've seen guys lose tips of fingers from butchering.
Someone got me one of those things for slicing,
Deli meat?
fruits.
Oh,
no,
fruits, okay.
just one of those small ones, and it like carrots. So you're doing little carrot slices for your salad.
You chunk your hand?
And dude, I nipped. It must have been a thumb, and just going down, and I was very aware of it.
Yep.
Very aware. Like, okay, we're getting close. And I just did one more, and I grazed my thumb the smallest. It didn't even bleed. The smallest amount you could. It was like, had I just been going like this, I probably would have taken the goddamn thumb off.
I've cut the tip of my thumb off.
Oh,
Yep. It's still flat on top. I got a little scar right here.
really?
Yep.
From the butcher shop?
My last day as a butcher too.
Really?
I had a
went all that
customer come in
time?
late. I was there for probably 2 years at this company, 3 years at Kroger, right? Last customer, I had my 2 weeks in already. I think I still had 3 more days to work, but I just was being nice. I was like, oh, I already put the fish away. I already washed all my fucking dishes. And they just came in like, I'm so sorry. I just need something for dinner tonight. I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I, get my dishes back out, whatever, grab the knife out of the sink, and I'm cutting up their cod. Went right past the tip of my thumb.
Oh.
Went right, and our knives
Did
are
you
so
still
sharp.
give him the cod?
No, not that cod. What I did is I had to do the classic, like, just very calmly. Hey, my friend Om was like, hey, Om, can you take this customer real quick?
Yeah. She ordered the cod and the tip
get
of
a
the
different
finger.
piece.
Yeah. Did you end up, what do you do with that cod? Do you take it home and eat it?
No, we
would've.
just threw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have
It's
thrown it
the
out
end of
because
the
it's
night
cod
anyways,
and
yeah.
that's disgusting.
That's fine.
The thought of fish, but if you're a fish
I couldn't
eater-
sell it to anybody, and I wasn't going to take it home and cook it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we threw it out. But
So, anyways, going back to our guy here.
Yeah.
He couldn't imagine. So he's working in this sawmill. He considered building a small guillotine to cut his fingers off. Why would you need to build
you got
a
a sawmill.
guillotine? This guy's mental health is going
He's
in all
too many steps,
directions.
man. Simplify. You can make it look like a work accident even, and probably get compensated for it.
Yeah, exactly. Take some time off work, get paid,
and
maybe
get your 2
sue the
fingers off that
company.
you want off. Yeah,
This is a win-win-win all the way around the board, sir.
motherfucker's way too complicated.
Instead, he goes for surgery and has to
Shit's
pay out
getting
of
way
pocket.
too complicated for me.
He couldn't imagine himself living for the years to come with those fingers.
Gross.
The man's experience highlights the potential efficacy and patient satisfaction of elective amputation for people with body integrity dysphoria, as well as the importance of inclusive healthcare practices. You've heard that term.
Yep.
The all-encompassing.
Inclusive healthcare.
Inclusive healthcare. That means taking a melon scoop to your 12-year-old daughter's pre-titties.
Yep.
Getting those out of you.
And in fairness to this guy, though, I'm just depending on where robot arms are at, like the technology involving those, I might also be a little transableism myself.
Yeah, but that's fine. If you go, there's something better now.
If there's a cool robot arm,
something
I'm cutting
better.
I'll be in line to cut my fucking arm off the next day.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make you the $6 million man or whatever that thing was, yeah, that's a different argument. You know, if they can turn me into the Terminator, hell yeah, I'm all in. But
like right now, they're still a little rigid. They're good. They got some cool robot arms. They can do mostly motion. But I want one that works like my hand now. And as soon as they get that down, I'm in.
No, I want one like they have in the movies, where it just like
But that's what I'm talking about.
connects to you.
You start adding shit to those
Like,
arms.
theirs have like laces and shit. You got to tie it down. It just seems like it'd be loose and wobbly.
I just think it'd be cool to have like a little go-go gadget arm. You can just
hell
attach
yeah.
things to it throughout the day.
We will probably in your lifetime.
Hell
Shit
yeah,
like that'll be available.
I'm excited. Just don't touch the brain.
Functionality. So he got these lopped off. Functionality was not meaningfully affected by this move. In fact, he reported that without the 2 fingers, he was able to use his hand as he had it mapped out in his mind without having the fingers bothering him. He won arm wrestling contests.
You don't really need 2 fingers for that.
I wouldn't. Well, you really need more thumb and forefinger.
And so that's why I think he did cut
And
pinky
wrist.
and ring. Yeah.
Yeah, because if he just did thumb, there's no way he could
there's
stump
no way.
wrestle.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't work. So he won arm wrestling games, they say.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. So you went to the bar,
competitions.
you got a couple of guys.
Yeah. I beat some asshole in arm wrestling the
Yeah.
other day, and they're putting this in the actual medical literature. He was able to drive his 4 wheels. Do you mean car?
Maybe a 4-wheeler?
4-wheeler? Then
Maybe.
say 4-wheeler. Don't say he was able to drive his 4
He was able to
wheels.
drive vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 4-wheeler only because they have the throttle on them instead of the pedal.
You know, one-armed people, like the drummer from Def Leppard can drive 4 wheels.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need those fingers to drive.
You don't need arms to drive in some cases. I've seen those modified whatever work off your breath cars.
Yeah. This guy could still successfully do sock puppets.
Yeah.
He can wear gloves.
It sounds like he has everything you can get with a normal hand except for maybe wearing a ring on the ring finger.
He kept working with his hands without any problem. He's now able to enjoy a normal life. Body integrity dysphoria has been compared to gender dysphoria.
Of course.
And they compare the surgeries to trans-identifying people. You can see where some people might make that connection.
Yeah.
And when you lump it into this whole positive, body positive shit or inclusive healthcare, that's how you get people to be like, hey, we're just doing what the 12-year-old wants.
Yeah, this is for his safety.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He said he was suicidal.
Yeah, he was gonna kill himself probably. So we had to play this game with him.
I'm going to kill myself if somebody doesn't give me $1 million.
Yeah, that's a good one. You should.
If this is all it takes to get anything changed.
As extremely wealthy.
Yep. I'm going to say I'm extremely wealthy.
Dude, I know that's funny in a joke.
Yeah.
Just like my Vietnam vet one is funny in a joke.
Yeah.
But why not? Honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You said that Vietnam vet as a joke to the transgender, and then it's like this is just the next stage.
Right. Like if
We already went through the whole
through,
Rachel Dole's whole trans black thing.
Yeah. And that's gonna make a comeback.
Yeah.
She'll be a pioneer at some
Oh,
point.
100%.
It's
She was
just,
transracial before it was cool.
It seems like again, once the lawsuits start, I don't know how that'll play out. There is a wrench in that philosophy I had that wait till the lawsuits happen and then you'll see it outlawed everywhere when people start getting sued. The problem is the medical industry is going to have the ability to lean back on, well, this was what the medical community was saying at the time. This was what was proper.
And no one's going to be held accountable.
No,
It's like when they were
and-
giving lobotomies back in the day and it wasn't
Yeah.
working. They're just like, well, it was the practice at the time. Now we got a lot of
Exactly.
lobotomized motherfuckers walking around.
Yeah,
Oops.
with no compensation.
Nope.
And
They're fucked.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I thought that was an interesting story. And just when you think it can't get any crazier, believe me, it won't stop there. So 20-year-old guy lopping off healthy body parts. Now, if you were to say a guy was born with 7 fingers on his hand, would it be ethically okay to surgically remove those fingers?
Yeah, usually extremities like that, or if somebody's born with a tail, you can always get those cut off.
Yeah, I would never remove a tail.
If I had
I'd
7
keep a
fingers,
tail.
I'm keeping that too. I'd
Especially
keep a tail,
if I had a
7 fingers,
tail. Oh, if I could wag it, that'd be awesome.
That'd be really fun.
But if it was one of those ones that are like, oh, it's a tail, but it's really just a
I was going to say,
tadpole
unfortunately,
sticking
it's
out
just
your
like
ass.
you're going to get that little stumpy skin tag looking thing.
Yeah, I don't want that. Don't count that as a tail. That's insulting to
Going
tails.
monkey tail?
Yeah, if I had a curly
That'd be a cool
tail
one. Yeah,
or
one
a
of those ones
furry
you could pick stuff up with.
Yeah, that I could wag,
Yep.
or that'd be awesome. Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. It'll be interesting to see where it goes in the long run, but it's fun to talk about this stuff. I think it would be ethically okay if you went, look, these 2 extra digits coming out of this hand make me a freak in society.
Yeah.
People think I'm weird. And if you looked at it positive, it's like, dude, you can get a grip on a ball that nobody could. Like, use that to your advantage.
Play those fighting games with the full pads out or whatever,
yeah.
or type faster than everyone else. If you get good with that finger,
Dude, you'd have a leg up on
yeah.
everybody. So, but I could understand where doctors would go, yeah, it's out of the norm, and so this person feels embarrassed in societal situations, out in public.
imagine playing guitar
and
here
so we
with
cut
every
that
button
off.
covered.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, or guitar in general,
Yeah.
real guitar, being able to cover everything that you could with that, you do.
You can hit some chords nobody would ever be able to imagine.
Exactly, and nobody would ever be able to play either. Like having those extra.
Fuck the
2.
cyber arm. I want an extra finger now.
Dude, hell yeah, an extra finger or 2 would be great.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was interesting. A guy, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's a little bit of hope. We've all talked about how kind of batshit crazy the world has gone, and I was fascinated to see this longtime reporter from NPR saying, "Yeah, we lost our way a bit here, and that's why
Good.
no one trusts us in the media." I'm like, whoa!
Welcome back, NPR.
25-year NPR veteran wrote a scathing op-ed saying his network had lost its way, pointing to various examples, including coverage of trans issues, for one, and the refusal of terms like biological sex. And no, this is not a trans article. That's just one of the examples they used. And for instance, what they were doing is like, oh my God, totally normal.
Yep.
Like if a 12-year-old girl says it's a boy, then it is, and we should affirm that. Like that kind of shit had people kind of scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're like, hold up, that was quick.
Without any like backing, without anything, just running with that narrative. And it seemed like all of them at once grabbed that narrative and ran with it and acted like you were an idiot and a monster if you didn't agree with that. That is what felt like disingenuous to a lot of people. Like, wait a minute. You wouldn't have felt comfortable saying this 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden now is everybody that disagrees with you an outright animal and a monster? It doesn't pass the smell test. So this article titled, I've been at NPR for 25 years. Here's how we lost America's trust. Senior editor, business editor, Uri Berliner wrote that an open-minded, curious culture prevailed, but that had all changed, and now we don't have an audience that reflects America. The biggest problem he's seen at NPR is the lack of viewpoint diversity.
That's what we've all been saying.
Wow. Welcome to the party, Yuri. We've missed you. We've been waiting for you to get back on the team.
NPR was good sleeping radio.
It was great. NPR was great. I think of it as like, if you're having a snifter of brandy at night or a glass of wine, it was those folks that tended to listen to NPR. There was always a snubbishness about NPR.
This is San Franciscans sniffing their own farts.
Sniffing their own farts out of wine snifters, famously done by South Park, which is one of the funniest episodes
I love that
ever.
episode.
Oh my God.
That's what I think about every time somebody says NPR now.
Yeah, well,
I know it even wasn't even related. It's just whenever I hear that snobby.
Yeah, and that's. I remember my dad listening to it in the car on long vacations because it was national, and so you could get it. And I remember the sounders, and they're like a trigger for me now.
Yeah.
It's like the alarm clock sound is a trigger for me. Like when my phone goes off, like I try desperately to never set an alarm for anything. I don't want to be told when to wake up. Now, I wake up relatively early anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't ever want to deal with a fucking alarm clock
lucky
again.
you.
Because, dude, I would whip those things against walls. I'd go through 5 of them a year.
Yeah.
Alarm clocks. They weren't loud enough, and trying to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning for work for 20 years scarred me.
Yeah.
And so now anytime I hear that dun, 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 that the alarm for Apple iPhone, I fucking cringe. It is what it is. It gets to me. I don't know where I was going with that. Why I was talking about the alarms.
I don't know.
Anyway.
We'll find it.
It's frictionless. One story after another about instances of supposed racism, transphobia, signs of the climate apocalypse, Israel doing something bad, and the dire threat of Republican policies that all appear to be covered and framed in the same fashion. Yeah, that's what we all saw too.
Yeah.
That's what we all saw too, and still do.
Yeah, no, they just, I recently heard an NPR thing. It was on another show I was listening to, No Agenda, and they had a little NPR just thing they were talking about, and it's so one-sided it hurts.
Yeah. That's where, hold on. That's where, sorry, not to cut you off. I remember where I was going with that.
It's the stingers from NPR.
It's the stingers from NPR that I would hear when we were driving to, I remember going to Florida one year on vacation, and their top of the hour stingers, and it might have not just been NPR. It might have been CBS Radio or something, but my dad would listen to these NPR style things, and it was like, will you put on Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil? And it was like, fuck off, we're listening to NPR. And, you would get these stories, and, to a 10-year-old, it sucked. But as you get older, they're cool. NPR had its place, and the snobs loved it, and they got to feel elevated about themselves, about some new procedure that the medical industry is working on, and they'd got all rock hard and think they could brag to their friends about something they learned.
Even their
on
Tiny
NPR.
Desk concerts have like an aura of just snappiness. Because I was watching one with a rapper I like, JID, right? And he's a hood rat guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just out here, trying to do the best I can for the black people in my community. I'm a Christian guy, whatever. He's just doing this super, very polite. I'm like, half your songs are about fucking hoes and killing people.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, they do some of that stuff, the music show. But some of the music shows are cool, and some of the local stuff is
it was 100% cool.
But that's it was geared towards an audience, and that audience somehow, I don't know how to say it, because I know a lot of people that listen to NPR, but there was something about that whole mainstream narrative where it was like, anybody that doesn't want the vaccine is your enemy, kind of attitude that they all took on overnight.
And that's what I was about to say, that they were playing that clip on the No Agendas. They were saying that it was kind of vaccine related.
Is that a show on NPR, No Agenda?
No, No Agenda is just its own show. It's its own podcast. They were doing a cover of that. They do a media takedown, so they'll just watch news stories, things like that, and then they'll tear them down for you, in real time. It's really good, actually.
Yeah. So we do that kind of.
Yeah,
in a
it's
lot
pretty
of
much
cases.
like that. Yeah, so it's kind of like that version. They just go on a weird level where it's clip, takedown, clip, takedown.
Yeah.
And they're fun.
That's good. If you've got enough producers, you can do that shit.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff to do when you can clip stuff up and properly produce it.
Yep.
And, things flow well when you do it like that. Yeah. I know. I remember those days.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. We're getting there, and we're gonna have a fucking team that's gonna have some fun going forward. I can't either. They let's see here. That all appeared to be, after George Floyd's death, he said, the message came down from the top of the network. America's infestation with systemic racism was declared loud and clear. It was a given. Unbelievable. So who cares what the damage is to the country?
No.
Let's just say everybody on their face is racist.
Yeah.
Do you understand how racist a statement like that is on its face?
Well, going back to South Park, they just nailed it. It's that BP apologies that we're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Literally you're kind of responsible for talking to a lot of people into a lot of things that probably fuck this country up.
Yeah. You're
We're
responsible
sorry.
for it. Yeah, I don't think you get to you're sorry, your way out of it. And Yuri's probably blown out. Either he retired from NPR or he's on his way out. They're not going to put up with that kind of shit from someone like that. In a document called NPR, so they put this in a document, NPR Transgender Coverage Guidance, disseminated by News Management, we were asked to avoid the term biological sex. So that's where this push came from. It was literally handed down from the higher ups, from the powers that be. Think about that for a second. For all of humanity, we've had the same different definition of biological sex. There's man, there's woman, there's XY and X chromosomes, and we all know what that is, and that's part of science, blah, blah, blah. And NPR management can hand down a directive, and all you fucking clones read it and won't say the term biological sex.
That's bullshit.
That's handed down. Think about that. Handed down from the top. So all you journalists, all you talk show hosts, and believe me, if you're a talk show host or, God forbid, a journalist, the last thing you ever want is someone telling you what you can and cannot say.
Yeah.
There's nothing more infuriating. It's very, very hard. I admire people who are able to shut up and go, not worth it, not worth that fight. But I'm not one of those people. It's very, very hard to turn the other cheek and walk away when you see someone spewing garbage. It's why I get so infuriated about the blame Trump and MAGAs for everything abortion related. It's like, no, let's at least put some context around this so we can put the proper blame where it is and understand what the bigger picture is and why this is done this way. Let's not just take this narrative and go, my neighbors are evil and here's why. No, your neighbors aren't evil.
Yeah.
Even if they're right wing, even if they're left wing, they're not evil.
Your neighbor with the Trump sign in his yard is just as likely to help you look for like a lost dog or something as your neighbor with the Biden
he's more likely in this world. But your friends that are left, like super left wing, are not evil people either.
No,
they're unfortunately on both sides, both getting a perspective and a narrative from a very, very evil. From evil sources. I don't know how else to put it. It seems evil when the almighty dollar is way, way more important to anybody than the mental health of a nation. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Don't know how it plays out, but that's the reality. But the point being, it's very hard for me to shut up. I try to stay out of the abortion debate, but in this case, it's like, okay, before this gets going too far down the road, let's just say our piece and move on. So I find it very hard to believe that NPR journalists and stuff would take this directive and be like, wait a minute, biological sex is off the table, and you put it in a fucking memo titled transgender coverage guidance? So you're giving me guidance on how
it's like you shouldn't be told how to report the news. That's your show is your show because of your personality.
Right.
People are tuning in to TDC for what we got going on here, not because some directive came down and we're only going to say things a certain way and we're not going to touch certain topics.
And I'll be honest, I could sound kind of ignorant here because I don't know enough about NPR. I haven't listened to the radio. The last 13 years I was on radio, I didn't listen to radio. I did the morning show, and then I would listen to O&A on replay out of New York, and then I would occasionally listen to a little bit of Ron and Fez.
I used to go to sleep for a while.
And when I first moved here, I had a receiver outside and speakers around the pool, and I would throw the radio on then occasionally, and then I went, fuck this, and went with my iPhone, and now it's on, whatever. It's playing Spotify out there. I haven't turned the radio on in my car or my home in 20 years.
One time my phone broke and I switched over to the radio just to see what was going on, and it was fucked up. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe NPR, that's what they are.
Yeah.
It's like they're just handed a script like Don Lemon and they just read it. Maybe that's what NPR is. I have thought of them as a radio station that reported on public stuff, and they were giving their own opinions. Apparently not. Maybe they're just reading a script, and whoever hands it to them, they'll just read whatever's on there.
Yep.
Kind of like, go fuck yourself, San Diego. Maybe it's one of those situations. I don't know.
Sounds like it more and more every day.
The mindset animates bizarre stories on how the Beatles and bird names are racially problematic. Yeah, I remember these stories. This is crazy that he's pointing this out. And all the time we do these stories and be like, are you fucking mental? Here's one of the reporters going, yeah, we lost everybody.
Yeah, we were mental, and now nobody believes us.
Shit. Now no one trusts us.
You're saying bird names are racist or have racist implications.
I remember doing that story.
Yeah, it's like nobody cares about what you got to say after that.
I can't remember the Beatles one. The Beatles and bird names are racially problematic, and others that are alarmingly divisive, justifying looting. Yes. Thank you for recognizing that one. That one drove me nuts.
Yeah.
With claims that fears about crime are racist. Oh, yeah, I remember that one too. That drove me nuts as well. Thank you for mentioning that. And suggested that Asian Americans, yes, really good, who oppose affirmative action have been manipulated by white conservatives. Oh, I hated that one. Fuck you. No Asian is listening to us white boys. They're not. They weren't manipulated by us. They saw an injustice and went, wait, bullshit. I got way higher score than Ducky over here.
I figured out why NPR called the Beatles racist, and it's funnier than I could have imagined.
Go ahead.
Beatles fans of all ages flocked to Disney Plus for a new documentary called Get Back that reassembles footage of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr creating the music video as the band begins to dissolve.
It's a good documentary.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson, I believe, did that.
Yeah. NPR used the NPR used the occasion for a guilt trip clickbait, quote, "How did we get stuck with the idea that 4 white guys make a rock band?"
Are you kidding me?
That is their title of their article.
Not make a rock band, make the
number one selling rock band of all time.
Number one rock band of all time, and that's not even in question. That's not debatable.
No.
Like, who's the number one rock band of all time? It's
Beatles.
the Beatles. Period. End of story. You can hate the Beatles.
You don't have to like their music, but they were the biggest rock band of all time.
You can think the Rolling Stones are better. You can think it's The Who or Aerosmith or anybody else. But the number one rock band of all time, without question, is the Beatles.
Yeah.
Simple. So the numbers... I get 4. Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Do they even need to add on to that?
No, that's all I need to read.
Wow, yeah.
Every rock band is made of 4 white people, Mike.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah,
That's it. That's how you make a rock band.
Don't tell Living Color.
No.
More recently, we have approached the Israel-Hamas war as it spill over onto streets and campuses through the intersectional lens that has jumped from the faculty lounge to newsrooms. Yeah, we've all seen that too. That's meant highlighting the suffering of Palestinians at almost every turn while downplaying the atrocities of October 7th, overlooking how Hamas intentionally puts Palestinian civilians in peril and giving little weight to the explosion of anti-Semitic hate around the world. No doubt about any of that. That's all true. Still think, the more I read and watch about what Israel's doing in Gaza, I'm staying out of it. But
I'm half
some
and
of
half
that
out,
shit,
but it's
some of that shit is sure looks genocidal.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
I'll put it like this:
and some of the things they're saying, some of the things Israeli generals are saying, are downright.
I would
scary.
put it just coming at this general neutral, right?
Yeah.
Both sides fucked.
Yeah.
Both sides are fucked. But Israel's pissed me off even more.
I'm staying out of it.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's on the other side of the world. I don't care. I'm sorry. I wish I did.
That's my thing.
I've tried. I can't.
The unfortunate part is Israel's just basically a landlocked airstrip for the U.S.
Yeah.
So we're in.
Yeah.
And that's why we have this whole issue right now with the Palestinians.
Well, now they're mad at us. They're more mad at us than Israel.
Yeah.
Because of the money's just buying the weapons.
Exactly.
That's more Russia and Ukraine. They're more mad at us, but they're calling for death to America
Israel,
too. Did you see the people in Dearborn calling for death to America?
Yep. Oh, they live like right in the city next to mine. I love it.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
I can almost hear the chants from my backyard.
I remember my dad calling me going, dude, you are way too close to be Dearborn to be doing your shit all the time. Would you please stop it? I don't want a dead son. They're going to fucking blow up Radio for One Studios.
Yeah.
Like, well, wait till I get to Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm yelling.
You'd be standing out in the desert in your own little robes.
I know there's a couple different sides you can take with the Israel-Hamas thing.
Yeah.
I have chosen very much. First off, I find it boring. I know it's hard to find war boring, but these areas have been fighting each other for eons, and I just don't fucking care. It's on the other side of the world.
Thousands years long problem that we're not going to solve.
And my country is a shithole that is committing suicide as we speak. I'm way more concerned with what's going on
exactly
here.
Where I'm at.
I care about Palestine, Ohio, more than I care about what's going on in Palestine and Israel. Okay? That's the reality. So he pointed to NPR's wall-to-wall coverage during President Trump's presidency of the now debunked Russiagate. Yeah, we were pointing that out in real time.
Yeah.
So
as it was happening, everyone said no, and they fucking insisted.
Oh, I lost half my audience, probably at least, over that. Half, probably. People that I considered friends, and they'll never come back, I'm sure. But Russiagate was bullshit. You bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
You stopped listening to people like me who don't lie to you, or do my best not to lie to you. Doesn't mean we can't be wrong. Absolutely. I have no problem admitting fault if I'm ever at fault. But I'm tired of being right about these things, like Russiagate.
Yeah.
You know? The network's response when the story fell apart was to pretend it never happened and to offer no mea culpa, no self-reflection, even though they perpetuate the culture that shatters trust and engenders cynicism about the media. Yes, yes, and yes. You checked all the boxes. You did all that.
Yep.
100%. That's the way it went down. That's the reality. And some of you are still pushing that narrative. And you still haven't had a come to Jesus moment or a mea culpa of any sort. You have not told your listeners, boy, we really fucked this one up. Boy, us nerds and us smarty pants that know everything at NPR really fucked you over and about Russiagate. Do you have any idea how damaging that was to the country?
Yeah.
I know you do, Garrett. But seriously, do people understand just how fucking damaging Russiagate was to the country?
Yeah, claiming our president is being supported by a foreign government.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of people
Manchurian
upset.
candidate times 10
Yeah.
is what they were claiming. Like, it was
gets a
so
lot of people
bad.
really fucking upset.
Oh, it was so bad for this country. NPR also turned a blind eye during the 2020 election to President Biden's son's laptop, which he argued was newsworthy. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Its contents revealed his connection to the corrupt world of multi-million-dollar influence peddling and its possible implications for his father. He also looked critically at the network's coverage of COVID-19, their utter failure to consider anything other than the prevailing narrative. Oh, this wacky virus that looks like a Frankenstein just came out of nature.
Oh, yeah.
They were not even
obviously.
willing to look at the lab leak theory. Just an example, another example, he says, of the way the network has lost its way. Well, that's one. That's one.
Let's get the rest of them going.
I know. I hope. That's the case. But is what it is.
Nah, Stir Crazy said it pretty good. He said left side script, NPR, is just a shared mental state. They all have the hive mind mentality and they don't need a script.
Yeah, maybe. But it seems like just from what I know from working in various radio
radios.
stations, like Drew Lane had a much different take than Peter Warby on Night Call, right? Like, Pete is an awesome guy. Awesome. I loved hanging out with Peter Warby.
Yeah.
He was nice when I was an intern. He was nice when I was a senior producer. Like, he just was. He was a good human being. Way fucking more liberal than Drew or Mike ever could dream of being. And Drew and Peter would get in these long conversations, blah, blah, blah. A lot of it boring to me at the time when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But, looking back at it now, it's like, yeah, Peter Warby would have been your fucking bleeding heart liberal. And Drew would have been your, like, point being, if a mandate had come down, like, station-wide, like, we say this now, we don't say biological, sex. Like, Peter Warby wouldn't have gone along with that, and neither would Drew Lane.
That's why I think it's that kind of a hive mind thing, like Stir Crazy is saying, because I feel like those people are so brainwashed that they want to believe this stuff, and if they want to believe it hard enough, they're going to say it.
Maybe I'm wrong, and the hive mind is so thick that had this directive come down now,
it's either
and
that
it was
or
like
your job's on the
2008 at
line.
Riff. Maybe Peter Warby would have been so on the left that he would have gone. Okay, biological sex is out now. Maybe he would have. Drew and Mike sure as fuck wouldn't have. And I would think people at NPR
Drew and Mike would have got mad. You tried to tell them what to do.
Yeah, and we would have read that on the air and then made fun of it and dared them to fire us, which they wouldn't have been able to do.
No.
When you're paying for all your other radio stations on the market,
Yeah.
based on the one show,
Kind of
you can't
invincible.
fire them. Yeah, they become untouchable. Ethan Crumbly, remember that name?
Yes.
He's the kid that shot up
Oxford
High School, killed, I believe, 4 students there, and his parents were sentenced.
Good.
Most young people say good. I know some people in the Oxford area.
Yeah, and I know some
Lake
adults will say,
Orion
like,
area.
oh, what was my kid? And I'd still say good.
Yeah.
Lock your guns up. If you got a kid in the house, lock it up.
Well, not only that, if it's just neglect on a level of fuck, I forgot to lock my guns up, and you have a kid that gets one and does damage, I don't like the idea of other people being charged for a crime someone else committed.
I feel like it's different when it's your child, though, and it's your responsibility. I feel like up until your child is legally considered an adult, whatever age that might be, or if they get, sometimes 16, they get run out or whatever. Either way.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as the child's under your care, you are partially responsible for what that child's up to.
Yeah, but if you have if you have a 16-year-old that goes out with his buddies on a Friday night, they're driving, and back in the day, I know this would be weird now, but back in the day, it would not be uncommon for those kids to go find alcohol, get shit-faced, and say you plow into a family of 4. I don't think it's fair to charge the parents. Like, your kid got drunk and drove and killed someone.
Yeah.
That's like we'd be a whole different country if we started.
I don't
think
you should charge the parents the same as the kids, but I do think those parents should have to pay for some of those fines or medical bills if needed or things like that.
I know they've tried this with like truancy over the years, where it's like
if your kid different though. If your kids get that's barely. I'm talking.
But
major
haven't
crimes.
they tried to do that? Like fine parents or something like if your kid. But
I'm talking more major crimes. Like if your kid's jaywalking or shoplifting, punish the kid.
Well, you said responsible for your kids.
You are responsible. I thought we were talking school shooting. Like we started at school shooter.
School shooting. How much? Here's the thing with the Crumblies. It sounds like at every turn, you had all the signs that we've all seen 1,000 times. It's like, oh, you've got a fucking loner kid who is crying out for mental health help. He's written in all his diaries about his mental health and wanting to kill people, blah, blah, blah. The school brings it to your attention and you ignore it because I got to go back to work.
My kid, I'll handle him how I want.
And you buy your 15-year-old a gun, and then he immediately goes to school and murders 4 people.
Kind of on the parents.
I don't have a problem with them finding them guilty and throwing them in fucking jail. And they were asking for a certain amount of time, and the judge threw the max.
It's like you can show your kid gun safety without getting them a gun.
Yeah, or you would never want to get a kid like that a gun in the first place. Like some
100%.
kids are mentally unstable, are not in any way to the like. There are 15-year-olds out there that you can absolutely get a gun for.
Yeah.
There are 8-year-old girls that you can take to the gun range and show them proper shooting technique and absolutely get them a gun and blah blah blah. There are also some kids that are fucked up, and you, under no circumstances,
should give them a weapon.
Should give them a weapon like that. You shouldn't. Now, if they go out and find a gun on their own and they do damage, like I don't think a parent should be held responsible for that.
Yeah, but
when you're the one that bought them the gun and you're fucking neglecting them at every turn,
but that's what I'm also saying is kind of neglecting the kid. If he's able to go out and get a gun and hide it from you for so long,
I think that's a dangerous place you're stepping into.
I get it. Yeah,
it is because we were all fucked up at times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. I don't think there was much my parents could have done to corrected the bad behavior that I displayed from 14 to yesterday.
Yeah.
Like there's not much there's no fucking way they could have kept me in school. And no matter how many truancy tickets you threw them, like that didn't exist.
It is pretty hard to just, you can't helicopter your kid.
And when I came home and I was around other adults, I was a great kid. I was polite.
Yep.
I was nice. I could be the sweetest boy on planet Earth. That didn't mean that I wasn't going out and trying to shoot squirrels in the woods. I wouldn't do that.
No.
But I could have been, and my parents would have been none the wiser. There's no way they could follow me around, and me and a buddy that they barely know, that I know from school, who's got access to a couple shotguns, if we're out fucking killing, murdering animals in the woods, my parents would have no idea. And although I would never do that, but if some kid was doing that, I wouldn't want his parents held responsible for that shitty behavior and like, oh, he's been torturing animals out in the woods. Like that would have been the biggest shock in the world to my parents.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want them held responsible. Like, well, you're the parents. You should know what they're doing at all times.
And it is hard to know what your kid. And I could be stepping in some landmines here for that one.
Yeah,
and I feel like the emails will come in and give us a good.
Yeah, maybe. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose all your libertarian.
That's
support.
fine. That's fine. Well, no. I'm someone saying the government needs to get involved. I'm just saying you need to punish your kids a little bit and keep an eye on them.
Well, I think an extreme case like this.
Yes.
Like here's
definitely an extreme case
for people like you and I that don't trust the government on any level.
Yeah.
I don't trust the media on any level.
No, I don't either.
Like these stories are scary because it's like, okay, what precedent are you setting? It's
exactly.
Like, let's go back to 2024, the Crumbly case. Crumbly versus State of Michigan, and you sentence them to 15 years in prison for a crime their son committed.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now you've got precedent where someone could, under that ruling, try to find a way to hogtie in, like, well, this kid punched another student, and so under the Crumbly law,
the assault.
They file a criminal offense against the parents. They should have been able to, blah blah blah.
I don't know. In my head, I
that
feel like
to
it
me
should
is like
only apply to crimes that you can get tried as an adult for as a minor. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
I think that's a good cutoff right there, and I think that's where I'll leave it.
And if it was easily cut and dry like that, I'd agree with you.
It's not.
It's not. And the problem is, anytime you open the door to stuff like this, it opens the door further because nobody's going to be satisfied with this. Rational people can look at this and go, "Oh, this is such an extreme example," and with what we know and lack of remorse. And what it's done to that community, you can go, yeah, fuck these parents.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody in Oxford or in the surrounding communities is shedding a tear for the Crumley family.
I've heard the
at
story
all.
pop up a couple times just in talks around work and shit like that, and every single time everyone says, fuck those parents.
Yeah, yeah. And I know some people that have students that go to that school, and they're all saying the same thing too.
Oh, I bet.
Fuck those
I
parents.
bet they're saying that.
Yeah. And that community is so beautiful around there, you just wouldn't expect.
No, it's so open, bare, just beautiful farmland almost.
Yeah.
They just have to deliver out there all the time.
All right, should we get to some emails?
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love the feedback.
Yeah, I do too. Send your emails, walters@detroitcast.com. Let's see, VR headsets. So we must have been talking about this last week.
I was talking about the game.
It's been a few days since we've been here, so.
We're back.
Mike, the Quest 2 was around $400. So I was talking, I think in context here, I think I was talking
Quest
about.
2 must have came down.
But I was talking about one that's like, it was like $1,200 or $1,800, and now it's going to be like $3,000. And I don't know what the difference is or what you get for that.
Holy shit.
What?
I think I'm buying a Quest tonight. It's only $200 right now at Target.
Really?
Yeah, the Quest 2 right here, wireless VR, all in one, whole kit.
Really? Does it come with a game?
128 gigabytes. No games, but there's plenty of free ones you can get on the market.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Quest 2 was around $400. The Quest 3 is around $500.
That's why.
Depending on the amount of storage space you want.
I had a Quest 1.
The more expensive ones do have a bit better visuals, but compared to the Quest, you might not notice it too much. One thing I love to use it for is flight simulators. There's one out called Digital Flight Simulator. It can get real nerdy, but it gives you the feeling of being in the plane.
I get it.
He sent me a picture. And
I did a lot of driving
pretty
ones.
sweet.
So you want to talk about really nerdy and flight simulator shit? My brother and I are both fucking turbo nerds, and we didn't figure out how to get the headset attached. It was really hard for us, but he had the driver set up for his desk. He had the wheel, the pedals on the floor. He had a full
what
gear
was
shift.
this for? I'm sorry.
This is for a driving game my brother loved to play.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a weird, but I think he got it hooked up to his VR too, where you could be in the, like you're driving a fucking car.
Like one of the racing games?
Yeah, like a racing game.
Dude, I tried
I
to
don't
do
think we
that.
got the VR hooked up, but we did try, like we had, because we were using a Quest 1 that's supposed to be all wireless, we had like wires jacked into the side, jacked into
Dude,
another wire.
I bought the pedal setup and the fucking wheels and the shifter for like the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, we did that for a computer.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sweet.
It's fun.
These look awesome. I'm going to have to get into this headset.
It's how I learned how to drive
thing.
manual actually a little bit better.
Really?
I knew how to drive manual before, but the only manual car I ever owned was an 84 Fiero, and that thing was not good.
Yeah.
So it actually taught me
Kind of
like
cool looking car.
it is a
The
cool looking
Fiero,
car, but it drove like shit.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a wreck in one of those.
No,
either. I
no,
don't think they
especially
hold
not
up
when
very
if
well.
I hit a Prius, like that Prius is going over me.
Yeah, not a good car for that.
But no, I learned how to drive manual a lot better and get into like 6 speeds and shit, and then downshift around turns and stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You need to be able to drive a stick if you're a guy.
It helps.
You just do
a lot.
You know, chicks, that's cool, but
My brother
for
dated a girl who
guys-
drove manual, and that's what made him drive manual.
Yeah,
now he
dude.
drives a 95 Corolla manual.
Yeah, they're awesome.
yeah.
I drove stick my whole life, and now I'm like, okay,
I don't
I'm
only
not
because
doing it
other
anymore.
drivers around you don't know how to drive a fucking manual,
Yeah.
and they'll get right up on your ass on a hill or something every single time you
Yeah,
go to do that
yeah.
shit.
those
It's like
are
you gotta
try
get that
in
shit
San Francisco.
quick.
Try
Oh
that
yeah,
shit
with
in
those
San
hills.
Francisco. Oof. Holy shit. Fuck the ATF.
Yeah, I agree.
The Venezuelan is doing the Lord's work.
Fuck the dog shooters club.
Yeah, that Venezuelan is not doing.
He's
God's
not-
work.
no,
Fuck that guy.
I agree. Fuck the ATF, but
yeah, I
that
agree
Venezuelan
with
was
fuck the
also a piece
ATF
of
too.
shit.
The ATF goes way beyond their
Yeah.
reach. This idea of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Yeah, the dog
Three
shooters
things
club.
that are legal, by the way.
yeah, they just have to be regulated.
Yeah. I'm not. So he says this country, CUNT, country deserves what it's been voting for 100 years. Fuck ICE too. They will kill that guy if he's not a CIA plant, which he probably is.
Hi,
Well,
James.
that could be. Yeah, exactly. James is worried about this stuff.
I can see that. He's on top of it.
That Venezuelan.
And I agree.
Fuck. He's the
Yeah.
one that was telling, for context, he was the one that was telling people that we did the story last week.
Yeah.
Telling illegals how to squat in houses. He's telling them how to have anchor babies.
Yep.
And get free shit.
And that's
from
the part I'm
government.
pissed off about.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're illegals. as an American who legally owns all my guns, it's a lot of hoops to jump through. Not like it's crazy amount, but it's enough hoops to jump through and enough contingencies that could get you kicked off any kind of list.
Yeah.
That fuck these motherfuckers getting them for like pennies on the dollar off the street, man. I want that fucking right.
Yeah. All right, one more. Let's do one more.
All right.
Fag Pass.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy.
We got Taker?
Hey, guys, inquiring about getting one of those cards if still available. I got a few people that texted me, too. So we're running low. I probably could go through 4 of them that I need you to sign so far. And how many people have listened to that show?
I'm going to try and get a couple more in here. I still have like half the stack. I ordered 500 when I did it, so.
Yes. Do you want to send these out? Do you want to mail one out?
Yeah, we can try.
I'll give you a stamp and I'll send a TDC sticker with it, too.
All right. I can also just sign a bunch of them and then let you handle everything.
I don't want to do that.
Fine.
No,
I'll help.
Leave me out of this shit.
All right.
I'll give you an envelope, a stamp, and a TDC sticker and a fag.
You'll do everything except put it together.
You
and put it in the
write it
mailbox.
and you put it in my mailbox and flip the red thing up so they grab it. Deal?
Fine.
Inquiring about getting one of those cards if still available. It'd be nice to have on me at certain times when the situation arises that such words need to be used. Won't ever get the side again when referring to a cigarette or when someone is just being a little faggy. Yeah. Oh, he's talking about won't ever get the side eye again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I wish you the best in your endeavors, friend. I recently moved up to Traverse City. I'm in the process of renovating, selling a home. What a pain. I'll have to get up to the island to see E at some point this summer. Love y'all. Kisses. Yes, if you drop a card in the post, I'll cover the shipping costs incurred. Don't worry about it. This is from Adam, the beer dude. Yeah, he used to bring us beer.
Oh, hell yeah.
P.S. Send my love to Jerry, too. Miss that guy. It was so fun that day when I ran into y'all at Lockhart's in Royal Oak and we had some beers. I still have that cherubic face he mentioned and would probably still jack off with him. Not fuck him. Haha. Yeah, I made the mistake.
I like to leave people wanting more.
I made the mistake of telling Jerry, dude, this Adam guy said he'd bang you. He'd fuck you or let you fuck him or something. And Adam's like, dude, I said I'd jack off with him. There's a big difference. I don't want Jerry in my ass.
Maybe some docking, but that's it.
Yeah, well, I bet he would dock. If you jack off with Jerry, you dock. I don't remember what docking.
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
Ah, okay, good.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
I thought there was one more about the drop machine. We'll do this and we'll call it a day. Hey, Garrett. And he spelled your name Garret.
Oh.
1 R, 1 T.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah. Sorry if I misspelled your name.
Yeah, no, you're good.
You have been killing it with the drop machine. Oh, hold on.
Now you got to plug in.
That's really astounding.
Yeah, no, he mentions one thing. Hold on. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see. Hold on.
You're kidding.
No, I wouldn't joke about something like that. He says, Garrett, you've been killing it with the drop machine with the exception of one drop. I think he's talking about...
All the champagne with spikes, son.
Yeah, all the champagne with spikes, son. Except with the exception of one overplay drop. Please, I beg of you, play more Don Sterling. I cannot get enough. Lawrence!
I think he should be ashamed of himself. I think he should go into the background.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play. Go ahead. Play a couple
He's got AIDS.
I didn't give him those AIDS.
I'm the guilty one for uttering those terrible, ugly words that I don't mean.
I love it. I don't mean.
And when he had those AIDS. Oh, Don Sterling.
Oh.
Excellent. All right, that's from our friend Connor. He did spell your name right.
Thank you, Connor.
I don't know who else wants a fag pass. Get him while you can. I mentioned him on the other show. It's right here. These are from Garrett. He's part of the community, so he's able to give these out. This card allows a recipient who is not a member of the gay community access to the word fag and all variations, which include but not limited to faggot, faggy, faggo, fags, and negates any negative effects of using the words. This card can only be given to someone by an official member of the LGBT community. It is rewarded to a friend of the community in good faith. It goes on. And so this card was presented by an LGBT member.
Try to make sure I keep it thorough.
Yeah, and it'll have your name on there presented too. Garrett will write your name
Heads
in
up, my
there.
handwriting's terrible, but
Your
deal with
handwriting
it.
is dog
It's
shit.
awful.
I was like, dude, can you type this?
Dude,
This looks
I-
ridiculous.
yeah, I'm
Yours, mine says
horribly
Mike
describing.
W. I need you to have like Mike Walters on
Okay.
there so people know. Like,
I'll do them a little bit more carefully next time.
Yeah.
I'll bring you a good one.
So, where was Adams? We need to get Adams. So he's got his
Yep.
address there.
I was gonna say, give me some names, addresses. So I'll start sending those things out.
Yeah, and our friend Tim wants one. Maybe Connor wants one. I don't know. But if you want one, this is where you can get them for now, and they're legit. They're the real deal. So, with that, we'll call it a day. Thank you everybody for putting up with all the shit we've got going on over here, dealing with me, dealing with this house and everything. We certainly appreciate it, and it's still fun anytime we get in here. So, hope you guys all enjoyed today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do it all over again.